Hello! As somebody who has been teaching math for the last 15 years, there is something that I really want to talk to you about. And this video is for you if you are a parent of a child in either elementary, middle, or even high school who might be struggling right now with math. If they are, I am sorry that you are going through this. I know it kind of feels devastating when your child comes home and they feel that they are just defeated by the math in front of them. But what I first want to say is just because they are struggling now doesn't mean they will be struggling always. When they find the right person to connect with them and to help them see math in a way that works for them, they are going to succeed. But one thing for now that I want you to think about is how are they doing with their overall fluency and efficiency when it comes to working with multi-digit numbers. Now, I won't say that this is going to be a huge thing for when they get to high school, but if you have a child that's really struggling in elementary and middle school, in addition to always wanting our students to understand concepts, if they are struggling with any of the basic four operations, with whole numbers, even decimals, and fractions, they might have trouble down the line with more complicated concepts or even word problems. So what I see from my own practice and from my own experience as a teacher is that students will get really caught up in the numbers, and it'll almost make the rest of the problem that they are dealing with just completely over their heads, because they are so scared sometimes of either numbers being really big or maybe decimals that they're not comfortable with, or they just don't feel efficient or fluent in a certain operation. So math in no way is about just like memorizing formulas and rote memorization and practice. That's not what I'm saying. But there is a point where we do want to make sure that we're recognizing fluency, and we want to help them with those concepts. We want our students to not be afraid of the numbers. Some numbers are friendlier than others, like we say, and we want them to just be able to focus on the concept. Sometimes they can't focus on the concept if they're too worried about the operations and the numbers. Okay, so what is that going to look like if you need to work on doing that with your child? So I don't want to be too old school, but sometimes like basic flashcards are going to help them with some of their math facts. Another thing is just trying to figure out what works for them in terms of different strategies. So if we're multiplying, there are many strategies. There's the standard algorithm, there's the area model, there's breaking the numbers up into their standard form. It's basically like using the distributive property. Different strategies work for different students. And I've noticed that some students thrive with certain things and then they're not so keen on others, but that's okay. There's no one strategy that is perfect and that every student should be using. So we have to find the ones that our students connect with the most and then make sure they are practicing. I don't believe they need to do 50 problems of something every single night, but they will also feel more confident if they are able to practice and they are able to see that they are improving. So we want our students to be practicing these things on a daily basis so that when they get to the more conceptual problems, they have a better understanding of what is going on. So, all in all, the big thing that I would like for you to take away from this, I'm going to say two things. One, if your child is struggling right now, they will not be struggling forever, okay? There is somebody out there that can help them be successful, whether it is themselves after trying and maturing and realizing what works for them, or it could be a teacher, a tutor, a coach, somebody who will be there for them. And the second thing is that I really do believe that students need to become really comfortable working with all sorts of numbers and doing different operations. We don't want students to get bogged down by operations when we want to teach them concepts. So they need to be practicing those things weekly, daily, and then it's going to make a difference when they are doing problems that are just going to be better for their brain and help them grow. All right, so I hope that this was helpful. If you have questions, please let me